Hi friends, and welcome to the third season of the Sammy Cone Show. Today's show is packed with everything from football and family fun to a music legend and how to put feet to our faith when it comes to helping kids around the world. If you're as excited about football season as I am, then get ready as we start today's show by checking in with the Titans ahead of their season opener. I'm also going to help you get ready for game day with my own savings tips for tailgating, along with a special giveaway you won't want to miss. Then I'm talking to Grammy winner Amy Grant about the 30th anniversary of her iconic Heart in Motion album, as well as getting some updates on her health and family. And finally, I'm showing you one very simple way to help impact the life of a child this month. So why wait any longer? Let's learn and grow together, because this is the Sammy Cone Show.
From the News Channel 5 Network, this is the Sammy Cone Show.
With our Titans home opener this weekend, you know I had to go straight to the source to get all the information. That's why I'm excited to introduce you to Gil Beverly, Senior Vice President of the Titans. Gil, welcome. Go Titans.
Thanks for having me, Sammy. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, I don't know if you're more excited than I am about the Titans starting their season this weekend. Tell me, what are some of the things that we can expect as fans are coming back into the stadium?
Well, I think, first of all, we're excited to have fans, to be able to open up the full stadium to fans after last year where we had limited capacity. So that's probably the biggest headline. So we're super excited to be able to welcome all of our fans back. But beyond that, they're going to find that there's a wealth of new food options that we didn't have before. I call it our Nashville flavor package, where we now have relationships with Party Fowl, Slim and Huskies, and we have a soft launch of our Martin's Barbecue relationship as well.
I love it.
Three really big, just local brands with, that started here and just with great food, and they really are adding something to the stadium experience already.
Yeah, we just discovered Slim and Huskies ourselves. I love that, people come to Nashville for the food, so I love that that's being continued inside of Nissan Stadium. I mean, I'm also proud to let you know that I was able to get Derrick Henry on my fantasy team this year.
Right.
So I'm hoping that he leads us to this kind of record-breaking, 2,000-yard rushing season. What do we think about that happening for 2 back-to-back seasons?
Well, I'm the marketing guy, not so much of a coach, but I'm cheering for him. He's got an extra game to do it since we're going to a 17-game season, and I don't think anybody has won much money betting against Derrick Henry.
I would agree with you. Well, one of the other things I love about our Titans is how they give back to the community. You've got some really special give back opportunities going on with Waverly. Can you tell us about how the Titans are really pouring back into, some of the most hardest hit parts of Tennessee right now?
Yeah, so we partnered with LG USA, the appliance and electronics maker, and this last Tuesday we delivered supplies there, including a washer, dryer, and refrigerator to help with recovery efforts at the school itself. On Thursday, we went to Centerville, Tennessee with Team Rubicon to help directly in the cleanup efforts. And then we're also looking into and trying to host the Waverly High School football game this upcoming week. Still some details to work through there, but we're hoping that comes together as well. So, we're trying to help things on the ground, trying to deliver materials and support, and then also to try to uplift the mindset and to give people a reason to be excited and hopefully bring that football game to Nissan Stadium.
I love it. I love it. I know they're excited about that possibly happening. Speaking of bringing fans to the stadium, I hear there's a special deal that's going on, a pregame at the Pinnacle tailgate area, so that we can get a deal but also get fans to the stadium earlier. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So what we're doing is we're having a very steeply discounted beer opportunity at the Tighten Up Pinnacle tailgate from 10 to 11:30 before the game. So that's at the south end of the stadium. I wanted to call it a happy hour, but the younger folks in the office said that was too boomer. So we're calling it $2 turn up. So if you come from 10 to 11:30 before the game, you have the opportunity for $2 beers and the $2 turn up before the game.
I'm learning so much. I had teenagers that thought I was in on all of this, but I guess I'm still a boomer with you right there. Well, how can we help support, whether we're going to be at the game or not? How can businesses and fans help support the team leading up to the opening game this weekend?
Well, I think we want to see as many people in Nissan Stadium as possible. If you can't be there, we hope, like if you're a business, that you have the fireball flying in your place of business, and for all the restaurant and bars, love to have the games on to give people locations to go to hang out and to cheer on the two-tone blue. And really, it's all about being part of the two-tone nation. So we're excited for everybody to come out, whether it's to the stadium itself or wherever they want to watch, and to get this season started off on the right foot.
Well, I'll be joining you in that, already wearing the two-tone, a little more fashionable, but we're wearing the two-tone. We got it going on. I'm going to be sharing some more tailgating tips later with a special giveaway as well, but make sure that you all tune in on the 12th to see our Tennessee Titans play the Arizona Cardinals. Gil, thank you so much. Go Titans and tighten up.
Tighten up. Thanks for having me. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Thank you. Football is finally back, and no one is more excited than me, but with football it brings friends and of course food. So I'm here to give you some of my best tailgating tips so you can enjoy all the games this season without breaking the bank. So let's start off with, of course, the food. Now, the best thing to do is to pay attention to the sales and stock up when you see those things, because we're going to have games every weekend throughout the season. You want to find what's on sale and then plan your meals around it. Now, pick one focal point. You don't have to be everything to everybody, but if meat's on sale or those frozen meatballs, grab those, stick them in the crock pot, get your drinks, do those sorts of things all at once if you can. Remember, our sales cycles run about every 6 to 12 weeks. Now, also look at unusual places for those sales. You're going to want to look places like drugstores or even, yes, gas stations. You can use those points to stock up on those drinks and other things. Plus, don't be afraid to ask for help. Send out a free Evite. Not only will that tell you how many people to expect, but you can ask them to bring things as well. And when you see things aren't being picked up, then that's what you'll need to help supplement. Okay, decor. Same thing. Let's not go out and buy everything with our favorite team's logo on it. That can get expensive. Pick one focal point. You can even do something like this. This is Titans fabric. You can turn this into a tablecloth, a napkin, a banner, and then go to the dollar store and grab smaller things like banners or tablecloths in those team colors to help supplement and really round out all your decor. Okay. Now let's think about the kids too. Whether you're at the stadium or whether you're at home, if you want to pay attention to the game like I know I do, you want the kids to be entertained. So it's great to have some outdoor games, but also inside. I just went to the Titans website and was able to download these free activity kits. We've got everything from a maze to word search. There's fun things like trying to guess what's wrong with the pictures, where the players went to college, all sorts of fun things that you can have that'll keep the kids busy, and of course have some markers or coloring, things on hand as well. Okay, speaking of free, I want you to pay attention to your favorite team's social media. That way you're going to know where their mascots are going to be, especially leading up to the game. They might be giving out freebies like towels, flags, different things that are going to be really fun that'll help you kind of round out your look, and that's a great way to get in on the game. Now, the Titans are going to be doing something I'm telling you about on today's show as well to help kind of with that tailgating, but make sure you check that out even if it's with your kids' teams. Now, I also want to make sure that you don't go and spend all the money that you have on things like tents, grills, that sort of thing. If you're not used to tailgating, make sure that you borrow where you can. So go ahead and ask around, put a message on Facebook or Instagram and say, hey, I want to tailgate. Who can lend me some gear? And that way you know what's worth spending money on and what's not worth it for your family. Now, the other thing I need you to do is look the part. Now, come on. We love Project 615 around here. Do you remember the Coliseum? Of course. So I'm going to be not only giving away some of this gear, but I want you to go ahead and same thing, kind of pick out some items that are in your team's favorite colors, but you don't have to have a jersey for every single player. Likewise, Kendra Scott has also started a new game day collection. So you'll see some of these pieces in some of your favorites, pro teams and college teams' favorite colors. So I'm going to be giving away the earrings, a fun prize pack at SamiCone.com. Make sure you head there to enter that. But again, when you're trying to round out your game day gear, go ahead and just have a great sampling, because the most important thing, after all, is the game. And now that football is back, we're going to be having a lot of fun ways together with friends and family this season and for the next few months. SamiCone.com for all of these tips and to enter the giveaway. The 30th anniversary of Amy Grant's iconic Heart in Motion album is out, and here to talk about it is none other than the Grammy Award winner herself, Amy Grant. Welcome to the Sami Cone Show, Amy.
How are you doing? I'm glad to be a guest.
I'm really well, and I want to see how you're doing. I mean, you've had some really impactful life struggles, health issues, but how are you feeling these days?
I feel fantastic. I don't know, this last year and a half, sometimes it feels like the year that never happened, and then sometimes it feels like the year that changed everything. And so during that, all my family, we had COVID. We've watched the world shifting, opening, our perspectives changing, and then somewhere in the middle of that, I had open heart surgery.
Right.
And so what I never felt like was, oh, the world is just rushing on and I'm at home recuperating. I was like, well, everything has stopped. This is perfect timing. So.
Yeah. And, when I was reading the article in People Health, I was interesting that you really took this as a time to reflect. And I think I'll say, especially as women, I've shared some of the same struggles as you have, shingles at a young age. We don't listen to our bodies. What advice would you give for women in particular about really paying attention to those signs that we're really quick to push off because, frankly, we're taking care of other people, especially in our family?
Oh gosh, Sammy, I feel like most of us learn really good lessons the hard way.
Yeah.
So even if I were to give some advice, I know nobody will listen. But I guess the gift of time is, there's some seasons of life that you're just hanging on for dear life. Work is demanding everything you have. Family's demanding everything you have. It's just like, no, I'm not allowed to get sick. I'm not allowed to slow down. I'm not allowed. And I guess I would just say, it's important to have moments of peace, even if it's 90 seconds, to say, the toddlers are screaming, but I can see them through the door.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go outside and hear some bird song and take a deep breath.
Yeah, that's great advice. I mean, like you say, it's hard to hear, but I think if we don't repeat it, then we don't know to follow it. So I appreciate you just being vulnerable enough to share that. I mean, you look great, you look timeless, your music is timeless. It's hard to believe that the 30th anniversary of Heart in Motion is upon us. What can people expect with this newly remastered edition that's coming out?
Well, the first off is just a reminder of that music. I'll be honest, when we started delving into that, several of those songs I do in concert, but I had not listened to that record, like putting the needle down on the first cut. I bet it'd been 15 years. And so, what, I don't even think it was available, and it wasn't in print, it wasn't a CD, and people would say, can I have a copy of such and such? And I said, I have not had that for a long time. I think the first thing is just to go, hey, remember that time in life. I've really enjoyed taking a bunch of those songs and putting them back in the live show. I'm back on the road.
Yeah, well, no, and you have a vinyl coming out as well, or that's out. And you mentioned being on the road, which you were my first Christian concert, if I'm allowed to say that. I'm so excited that you're out on the road. Tell me, so you are on the road, right? Where can people see you? Where can we find out about Amy Grant on tour?
Oh my goodness. Well, in the beginning of September, we're going up to the Northeast, Boston area, coming down. October, we're headed to the West Coast and all places in between. So amygrant.com if you want to come to a show. And it's a good long night of music. And gosh, it just feels so good after COVID to be making music. Like the first show, I was choked up even in sound check because I've just so missed that feeling of, that it just feels like companionship and love and a unifying experience, all those things that happen with live music. And we just we haven't had a lot of that.
Yeah, I think you just said it, community, relationship. I know you're getting ready to celebrate, I believe, your 21st anniversary with Vince as someone that's, I know I'm on my second chance of love in my 40s, and I just want to say you guys are an inspiration. Any quick relationship tips that you want to leave us with for those of us that are hoping to make that milestone as well?
Words go a long way. Words go a long way. I want to say to every man, it takes 30 seconds to say something kind and uplifting to a woman. You know, I don't just whatever.
Yeah.
And Vince has said complimentary things to me sometimes, and I've said, I don't care if you are lying through your teeth. Please don't ever stop saying that.
That's the perfect way for us to end. I mean, I think you've said it for all of us. Amy, you are just a breath of fresh air. Thank you so much. Make sure to head to amygrant.com to find out more about the album, the tour, all of it. Amy, thank you. Be blessed and good health upon you and your family.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care, Sammy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You know, I love to highlight amazing organizations that are doing great things all around the world. It's even better when I get to introduce you to my friends that are running those organizations. Shalene Bryan is not only an author, speaker, podcaster, she's also the founder of Skip1.org. Shalene, my friend.
Amy, so good to see you.
It's so good to see you as well. You know, this is how I've resorted to seeing some of my friends these days, is just have them on the show. And I need you, I know this time is going to pass too quickly. We're in Skiptember. Tell me what Skiptember is and how Skip1 got started, because your story is really unlike, like so many others, I think, of us have started that have sponsored kids around the world, but yours takes a really interesting turn that not many of us would have thought to do. Tell us about it really quick.
Right. Back in '03, when my kids were little, I decided to fly to East Africa, like I was Diane Sawyer or something, to see if the two little kids on my refrigerator that I had been paying $38 a month for were real. So I told no one I was coming. I ripped the little pictures off my refrigerator, flew from LAX to Heathrow, Heathrow to Entebbe, showed up in this little village called Gaba in East Africa. And I was like, hi, I'm from America, and I came to meet my two children, AR212 and GR479. Like, where are these cuties? This gracious woman, she hikes me 2 miles into the back lot of a movie set. It was mud huts the size of my walk-in closet with a bad-looking sheet for a front door. And she said, this is Omega's house. And that's my little girl on my refrigerator. Mm-hmm. And as I went inside, Sammy, I'm not even joking, this little girl darts at me. She goes, Mzungu, which means white, okay? But I didn't know that. And as I was holding her like I would my little daughter, Brooke, I'm thinking she's real. And then my eye catches the Christmas card photo of our family embedded in her mud wall. I lost it. I'm like, honey, I'll get you anything because I have an American Express card, you know? Like, I'll get you anything.
Do they take that in the village?
This big right. She goes, I love a bed. I'm like, cool, where's Target Jungle out here, you know? I got to take her and Alanis and buy them beds, sheets, a mosquito net, a blanket, and a pair of shoes for $20.
Yeah, it's incredible. Really, and I know you talk about it more in Love, Skip, Jump. I mean, it's just, I love how you were just so unabashedly, you know, unashamed of just like, you were even saying you did like 17 things wrong that you shouldn't do when traveling. Like you went off on your own, you just did this. But it's just saying yes. And you make a comment in the book about so many of the greatest stories in the Bible just started by saying yes to God. And this one yes not only changed your lives, but changed so many lives. What is Skiptember all about? How can we join you in this crusade?
Yeah, so Skiptember, we're skipping the big gala that you bring all these, you know, rich and famous people to that it's $100,000. We skipped it, and instead we're doing Skiptember, where you skip on the day you were born, not the month. So my birthday is November 20th, but September 20th is my skip day, and I'll skip a latte, a lunch, a pack of gum. A little girl skipped her tooth fairy money. The amounts are relevant. The point is foregoing something for the sake of someone else and then sharing it on your social media with your friends, your community, so other people can join in on Skiptember.
Yeah, I love it. And you mentioned that, I know you spoke to a group of young entrepreneurs and you told them you weren't afraid that they were going to fail. You were afraid that they were going to succeed at something not worthwhile or not valuable. I think this is such a tangible way when so many of us feel helpless for, making an impact around the world. This is such a tangible way to help. What other advice would you have for people that are really struggling right now with feeling like I'm in that top 1% in the world, or maybe I don't have much that I can do? What is something else that people can do to really feel like they're connected with the people that need their help?
I've never met a generous person that was broke. So I think he is no fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain what he cannot lose. The only thing we can actually take with us is what we put into others. And the true gift belongs to the giver. We all can skip a latte, a lunch, a pack of gum, mow your own grass one day, wash your own car, do something, just that little app on your phone. Just, I'm gonna skip it $1.99. I'm gonna donate that instead to skip1.org. Our promise is we give away 100% of all public donations. No one's on payroll here. And we're building kitchens and putting in wells at orphanages and schools here in America and around the world so people can eat.
I love it.
They don't need a vaccine. They just need to eat.
Yes, I love it. Shalene, we're going to send everyone to skip1.org. That's skip1.org. We hope you'll skip something on your birthday this month in September so that we can give to someone else. Always a pleasure to see you, my friend.
You too, my friend. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. Before I go, I need you to know to listen to your body. Our world has witnessed a lot of loss and stress recently. Here in Tennessee, we've seen deadly flooding and then experienced Hurricane Ida just weeks later. Even if you weren't directly impacted by these events, chances are you know someone who was. I'll speak from experience that I often underestimate the physical and emotional toll of these cumulative events. I power through or suck it up because I believe what I'm going through is not as bad as what's happening to others.
But my attempt to put others before myself often leads to a neglect of my own health that actually prevents me from caring for the people I love in the way I would want. Case in point, during a recent trip to Vanderbilt Children's Hospital for a follow-up appointment for my daughter, I found myself in the ER. Her doctor didn't like how I was looking, and then the room started spinning, so she had the pediatric ER assess me, which led to me being taken to the adult ER. I'm thankful for the doctor's attentiveness and concern, saying she couldn't in good conscience let me leave in the state I was in. I also found myself feeling embarrassed that I'd let myself get to a state that required another adult to intervene. I came face to face with the reality that I'd failed to practice what I preach. Amy Grant summed up this notion in an interview she did with People magazine. She said, everybody's on their own hamster wheel, but you have to listen to your own body. You have to find your own voice and say, something is wrong here. Amy learned that health applies to every part of a person, mind, body, and spirit. They all work together. I view it like the fruit of the Spirit. Even though Galatians 5:22 mentions 9 characteristics, they all come together to form a singular fruit. While I believe all of us have superpowers, we're not superhuman. If we don't stop and listen to our bodies, we actually limit what we can accomplish. So if you take one thing away from me today, please take the time to stop and listen to what your body is trying to tell you. Because if you don't listen to it when it whispers, you're not going to like what it says when it starts to shout.
I'm humbled at the conversations I was able to have today and grateful each of you were here to be a part of them as well. I hope you have a great day. Make sure you make it great and do not wait to tell someone you love how you feel about them. Bye, friends.